Hello everybody, welcome to the Centbee Show. I'm your host Lorien Gamaroff and my co-host is Kage Ntshingila. How are you doing, Kage?
Good yourself, Mr. G.
I'm very good, thanks man. It's
Good,
great to be here, great to be doing another Centbee Show.
Yeah, another third drop this year. And we have a very honey dripping show lined up for you guys today. We're going to be touching on our one of our most important features, actually, shopping, and one of the most important, or shall I say, sensitive topics regarding this crypto space, that we need to iron out, and that's investments.
Right.
Yeah. I caught an Uber via Centbee yesterday, and I found it very efficient, very quick as well.
Right.
Having just to use an Uber voucher straight from Centbee was pretty simple.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, exactly. I also took an Uber here today, and I also use Centbee.
Yeah.
And what's nice is that there's a whole lot of stuff. I mean, I bought some groceries from a supermarket that I use with Centbee as well.
Yeah.
And so even though I'm somebody who has bank account and has credit cards, I just find it so nifty and convenient to use my mobile money account on Centbee.
It is.
To be able to just purchase the things that I need.
Yeah.
So this is one of the most important things when it comes to mobile money. It's being able to spend.
And what I also dig about it is that I have a brother, and now and again he's always asking for cash, and I found it easier and efficient to send it via Centbee. So he also shops for his stuff there via Centbee. So I no longer actually transfer via my bank. It's literally via ChatPay, or I just literally transferred to his bank account via Centbee.
Yeah.
But he actually stopped me from doing that. Like, please stop sending it to my bank account because there's charges and stuff. So rather send it directly to my Centbee wallet, because I can buy Uber. I can literally go buy groceries, like you said. He also bought a Netflix subscription. So, I find it pretty much efficient, especially for the young guns.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, it's so much easier to be able to send money via Centbee because the cost of that transaction
Super
is
cheap.
tiny, a fraction of a cent. And then, of course, your brother just can go and spend it immediately.
Yep.
It takes, a few seconds to get to him.
Yeah.
And he's got it available and he can spend it.
Yeah.
And he can be across the country. He
Yep.
can be across the world.
Anywhere.
And so the beauty of Centbee is that when you do want to send money to somebody for them to be able to spend it, instead of having to worry about doing an expensive cross-border remittance transaction, because we use BSV, Bitcoin SV, and that's inherently global and low cost, it means that you can go and send somebody money at a fraction of the cost of a cross-border remit, and they can receive it immediately. It's not hours later or days later, they can get it immediately. And then they can just go and spend it.
Yeah.
So, the most important thing when it comes to mobile money is that you want to be able to spend it quickly. And so having a wallet that allows you to do that, send money very cheaply and fast, and then be able to spend it, I mean, that's the
future.
That's the gold standard.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we've spent a whole episode last week talking about how Centbee is not a cryptocurrency wallet. What Centbee is a mobile money app.
Yeah.
And mobile money around the world, especially in Africa, people are using it more and more. And when we did a survey of the mobile money apps out there in Africa, which hundreds of millions of people are using on a day-to-day basis, we had a look to see what was their shopping catalog, what options are there that you can use to spend. And of course, Centbee can compete with that.
Yeah, I actually picked up that we came out top of the list because of our catalog is just quite crazy. It's crazy. We have like over 1,000 products, like internationally, over 175 countries. So for me, that's the only way in the future is going to be. And if I take it back, actually, remember when you were in Dubai? That was like one of the first dopest experience for us to have that switch. Like literally, that was a switch.
Yes, going shopping at the Dubai Mall with Centbee.
Because you went at the Virgin store.
Yes.
You bought some stuff there. I mean, that was super practical.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Exactly. I didn't have to use my credit card or anything like
None of that, yeah.
So that's an example of being able to shop around the world with
Yeah.
Centbee. Whereas, if you do have a mobile money product,
Mm-hmm.
what typically happens is that mobile money app works in the country.
Yeah.
And if you want to go and travel with your mobile money account, let's say you're using M-Pesa or Airtel mobile money or Orange money, then that's where it's in that country that the mobile money works.
It's quite limited.
It is quite limited there. You
Yeah.
can't travel the world.
Yeah.
You also can't send your M-Pesa, using M-Pesa to Dubai
Yeah.
and get somebody to go and spend money in Dubai with it.
Yeah.
So again, it just highlights the beauty of Centbee, where Centbee isn't just a wallet for storing your cash,
Yeah.
but Centbee is a global mobile money product
Yeah.
that allows you to shop around the world, but more than that, it allows you to send money to somebody in a different country.
Yeah.
Centbee is inherently interoperable around the world because
Yeah.
of the global nature of BSV.
Yeah.
And then you can go and spend that money.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, does my app now work in this country? Centbee just about covers every single country.
I think also that's the limitation that most people suffer with when it comes to traveling. I mean, keyword for me is wallet, and a wallet should be interchangeable in terms of your traveling. Instead of the admin, but literally just switching by selecting the country that you're currently in.
Yeah.
And then you get the catalog and you get to explore all the products that are available there, and it's quite crazy because I don't see there's any other product that does that currently. Like we were saying, most products are locally focused, and that is the issue. So having cash that's spendable everywhere or anywhere or anytime, that's where people are heading in terms of having digital wallets.
That's right. Yeah, and what we're going to be doing, and this is our plan, is to constantly increase the options available in our shop catalog.
Yeah.
We are constantly engaging merchants and gift card networks.
Yeah.
And so our plan really is to make sure that in every country that there is an option for you. There's something for you to be able to spend your digital cash on.
Yeah.
So just keep checking back and seeing what's available for you.
Yeah, and that's the fun part because we're constantly trying to grow our catalog. And like I was saying, we are available in over 175 countries. So that alone means that we are globally available. So guys, remember to check out the Centbee app on the stores. If you haven't downloaded it by now, it's 2024, guys. I've been saying this. You need a mobile money wallet, and it should be Centbee, nothing else, yo. Check it out on the stores. Remember to show some love. You know the drill by now. Yeah, Mr. G, you can live off Centbee, like I was saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
and also the person-to-person payment.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yeah.
So, what we have right now, we've got a lot of integrated gift cards and vouchers and things that you can purchase in Centbee, but there's nothing stopping you as a merchant accepting a BSV on Centbee wallet,
Yeah.
because you also have the ability then to cash out,
Yeah.
to take that money and to send it to your bank account or your mobile money account. So just because you've got BSV in Centbee, it doesn't mean that you're now tied into the Centbee ecosystem.
By the way, yeah.
Yeah, so you can also then take that money and then cash it out as well. So, we encourage people to look at Centbee as not just, like a gift card purchasing wallet, because it's digital cash.
Yeah.
That works globally. If you are a merchant, if you are a side hustler or something like that,
Yeah.
accept BSV on Centbee.
Yeah.
And then if you need that cash, if you need to do a cash out, then go ahead. We've got a lot of countries where that's available. Just go and check in the
Shop.
when you send and you
when you
create
send.
a bank recipient
Oh, yeah.
or a mobile money recipient or even a cash out.
Cash out, yeah.
Literally, you can go and draw cash out the ATM.
Yeah.
Then if your country is supported, then there's nothing stopping you from accepting BSV, so you can get paid instantly. And also, of course, because it's digital cash,
Yeah.
it's not like a credit card where that money can be revoked. If somebody spends money on a credit card, the merchant isn't guaranteed that money will land in their bank account.
Actually, yeah.
There could be a dispute,
Yeah.
and that money could be reversed. Now, cash isn't like that. If you
Yeah.
get paid cash, you've received it.
Yeah.
And so Centbee is a digital cash wallet. So if you get paid, you've got the cash. So it's a very safe, secure way of receiving cash, digital cash, that can then be used either to shop as well if you need to buy supplies or something,
Yeah.
or you want to buy some groceries or all the things we have, or you can just go and cash it out if you need the actual physical cash.
I like the fact that at least we're not tying people to our product, because this is like a real world use case. If someone wants cash, like physical cash, they have the ability to do that with Centbee. Or if they want to buy like physical products, they can't do that as well. Or get a digital voucher there to get your physical products. But yeah, I think it works in the real world.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool, guys. Remember to check out the Centbee app. I'll keep repeating this. Check it out on the stores. If you haven't updated by now, I suggest you do so. Remember to also show some love. Just comment, feedback. You know the drill by now, yeah? Mr. G, we're going to be jumping into our second segment for the show. And, there's a very hot question on the table. And I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, which cryptocurrencies are good for investment?
Yeah, I know. This is a question that we have to answer because a lot of people think that BSV or Bitcoin SV, being the original Bitcoin, is categorized as a cryptocurrency. And, we've always made it very clear that Bitcoin is not, in fact, a cryptocurrency.
It's not,
But because Bitcoin is just categorized as a cryptocurrency, I think it's important for us to just talk about the nature of investments and why people are investing in cryptocurrencies and thinking of them as investments. So, a very important thing then to discuss is, well, what is an investment?
What is an investment? Because I'm sure people would also like to iron it out. Because I'm sure, like, with what's happening, everyone assumes, like, everything can be invested upon.
Certainly in the cryptocurrency
especially
world,
in that space, but we need to actually understand what really is an investment.
Exactly. If we need to answer that question, if we want to answer it, we have to look at investments around the world. What do people look at as an investment? And if you think about an investment, if you want to earn money, one of the ways is you can go work for it. You can get a salary and you can get paid. But people, if they have money, they want to be able to put that money somewhere where they can then earn more money. They want to make a return. They want to grow that money or that capital that they have. So there are a lot of ways of taking money and putting it into something that could have a return later on.
Just a quick question. Sorry to cut you there. So would gambling be an investment?
No, although I would say cryptocurrencies and in fact a lot of investing is gambling because remember, you're speculating. You're looking at something and saying, I want to buy this thing because I think it's going to go up in value. And then I can go and sell that later on for more money. But if we look at the nature of investments today, there's a lot of ways people can invest money and there's a lot of traditional ways people invest money. So one of the ones that people see all the time are when we invest in the stock exchanges. So what happens is people buy shares in companies and they look at that company and they say, well, this company is a growing business. It has a lot of potential. So if I own a share in that company, I can either wait for that share of that company or that stock to grow in value, and then I can sell it later on and make money from that. Or there could be dividends that you earn. If the company is making money and they're earning profits, then they'll distribute those profits as dividends and people can earn money from that. But there's all sorts of things. A savings account, technically, you could call it an investment because if you put money into a bank account and it earns interest, then you're earning money on top of that. But of course, savings accounts have very low interest. It's technically safe, although of course inflation can go and erode away the value of that investment. There's also bonds. If you buy a government bond, there's interest that you can earn. There's a whole host of other things.
Hedge funds and stuff.
Hedge funds, if you want to give money to somebody who wants to invest in a diverse array of things. Commodities are things like wheat or oil, real items that people use and consume. You might think that, let's say, we've had oil shocks in the past where the price of oil has gone up. Maybe there's a war in a country. And you think, well, the price of oil is going to go higher, let's buy some oil. So there's a lot of ways that you can invest your money. and a lot of traditional ways of doing that. And of course, now people look at cryptocurrency as being some kind of new innovation that is going to grow in use, is going to become more valuable over time because more people are going to be using it in their day-to-day lives. And so they look at these cryptocurrencies on some level as an innovative technology, much like AI or electric vehicles, that potentially could boom in the future.
With that being said, especially with the NFTs, because that I feel like that falls more into collectibles.
Right.
Do you recognize that as something that could be sort of like focused on in terms of investments?
Yes, of course. People invest in collectibles all the time. If you think about antiques or art or cars or even funny things that go through fads like the Beanie Babies in the 90s or baseball cards. There's a lot of things.
Even Pokemon cards.
Pokemon cards, something that there could be a fad. Or maybe there's sentimental reasons or historical value in something.
Or maybe basketball jersey, maybe by Michael Jordan. With
Exactly.
The signature. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So these are collectibles, and of course now in this digital world we have, as you say, NFTs, those non-fungible tokens, which are basically digital assets, maybe linked to digital art or digital trading cards or something like that. And people will look at that and say, well, look, it is a collectible. It does have value to people, to collectors, because maybe it's rare items that some community enjoy collecting. And of course that's where this NFT craze is coming now, and people are looking at it to invest in.
But I see, especially in the digital space, it has grown rapidly, because even in the gaming space, you find guys buying weapon skins quite crazy. I'm like, because I saw like the other day on X, there was this guy who was actually bragging about the skin that he bought for a firearm for, I think it was Fortnite or something. It was like $1 million or something. And I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy for some, but for people in Fortnite, they think that's awesome and they want to buy it. So you can see that there's a very wide array of things that people can look to as investments. And of course, now in this cryptocurrency world, people are saying, well, there's something in these cryptos. Either it's a technology that could potentially be transformative. It's these NFTs, these trading collectibles that people have. And so, what we have to look at is say, well, how do cryptocurrencies fit into that?
So, I mean, as someone who's not probably like fully clued up about the investment space, especially like currently digitally, what are the things that one needs to consider regarding that?
Yes, now, of course, with all those investments that we listed, there's all sorts of things you have to consider. Just because there's a commodity available or a collectible that's there, it's not certain that if you go and invest in those things that you'll make money. So one of the important things to consider is your time horizon. Let's say you're retired and you make an investment that potentially could only have a return in 30 years, 20 years, and now you're wanting to spend that money soon because you've only got a certain amount of time left. So you're going to have to look at the potential time horizon for a return on that investment. And if you're young and you've got a lot of time, then sure, go and invest in something that could potentially have a return a long time in the future. But if you're older or you want to have a return immediately, there are certain investments that you don't want to invest in. Then another thing is liquidity. Now, let's say you've made an investment in a commodity or real estate. Let's talk about real estate. Now, you can own the property, and if you want to sell it, because now you need the cash, that could take time. Maybe it takes months to go and sell that property.
It's not as quick,
So it's not as liquid. So if you're looking to invest in something that is liquid, in other words, you want to be able to get the money out as quickly as possible, of course there are investments that are good for that
Yeah.
and investments that are not. Now, in cryptocurrency land, of course, people trade cryptos on exchanges all the time, 24/7. It's not like on the stock market where there's an opening and a closing.
Yeah.
So people have looked at cryptocurrency as quite a liquid investment because
Yeah.
you can trade in and out of them
24/7.
quite quickly. And then, of course, another thing is the risk.
Yeah.
There are some investments that can have high returns,
Yeah.
but then are risky. You know, maybe you do invest in a new technology or an innovative company
Yeah.
or a startup, and it has a potential to grow, but something could happen to that, and then all that money would be lost if the startup closes down, or if something happens, you know, some kind of unforeseen circumstance makes your investment not as valuable.
Because we've seen that in the last decade, actually, like quite a lot of startups that they were like invested upon and they tanked.
Yes.
You know, and obviously it gets people a little bit nervous when they have to sort of like look into, you know, these future startups, because it's about the potential.
Right.
Yeah, and the risk is quite high because, you know, you're looking at high returns here.
Exactly, and I mean, with crypto, that's pretty much what people have looked at it as. They've thought to themselves, well, this is a risky investment.
Yeah.
In the past, we've seen how these cryptocurrencies can go sky high in value, in price.
Yeah.
There's a difference between price and value.
And value, yeah.
So they can go high in price, but then the next day they can collapse.
Yeah.
And this has been really the defining feature of investing in cryptos since they were conceived.
Since inception, yeah.
And so people, when they look at cryptos, they look at it and say, well, this is very volatile, it's very risky, but potentially the rewards can be great. So let's consider that risk. And some people are willing to take that risk.
Yeah.
But there's other strategies that you can have.
Yeah.
You know, if you think that, fine, this blockchain or cryptocurrency is undervalued right now because we see that it has a great potential to be transformative in a particular industry, then let's get into it now and hopefully the price will go up.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of these things to consider, and cryptocurrency, people have been looking at and thinking, well, it fits some of the categories in terms of investments. Some of them, you know, it does seem like it's an innovative new technology, at least some of the cryptos, that could enable new business models, could decentralize and create new financial products. And so that's how people invest. But obviously, a lot of people, I think, have been investing in them because they just see it as a volatile asset that potentially could triple in value, quadruple in value in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
So they are willing to go in and take a punt at it and invest in it and hope for the best.
Yeah.
So these are the things that people have to consider when looking at cryptocurrencies. And of course, the most important thing is that fundamental value. Because if you want to think of an investment and you want a real investment, you mentioned gambling earlier on.
Yeah.
What we've seen in cryptocurrency has had that gambling mindset.
Because honestly, the reason why I mentioned that is the vibe that I was getting from that space, because you can see how the appetite is quite high and people just want to make a killing. And that's like a gambling etiquette for me when I look at it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And then another reason why people might invest in cryptocurrency is because they think of it as diversifying your portfolio. Now, what does that mean? Well, when you're investing in one particular kind of thing, let's say you invest in real estate and there is a real estate collapse, well, you're going to lose all your money. And so it's very important, if you are a sensible investor, to spread that risk. And so if you have an investment portfolio, typically you would like to invest in a wide range of things, some commodities, some real estate, other things like that, because if something happens in one of those sectors, then the other sectors could uplift that and there could be some kind of evening out. Now, cryptocurrencies, people have said, well, they're uncorrelated with the traditional financial markets and the way people think about commodities and that sort of thing. It seems very uncorrelated with the existing investment opportunities out there. So they'll say, well, look, you know, maybe don't invest all your money into a cryptocurrency, but it could be used as a way to hedge against that volatility or that risk that you might find in other markets. Whenever you invest in things, you want things that are uncorrelated. So if, like I said, one sector goes down, then other thing will keep the value up.
Yeah.
And this has been something that people have said. Well, cryptocurrencies are diverse. They're different.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. G, I mean, we hear all of that, but what are the potential problems that could lie with, investing in crypto?
Yes, and there's many of those problems. We've spoken about the volatility.
Yeah.
One thing for sure is that cryptos are volatile.
Super.
And really that speaks to the fundamental value in these cryptocurrencies, because when you have something that has fundamental value, let's just look at real estate, for example.
Yeah.
Real estate you can live in. It's a building that is real.
Yeah.
Just because there might be a depression in property prices, you still have the underlying asset.
Yes.
And potentially down the line something could happen.
Yeah.
Maybe you make an improvement on the building, or the property prices start picking up in the area.
Yeah.
And you've still got the asset. You've still got a real thing.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, a lot of people realize that at the end of the day, you don't actually own anything. You've taken a risk on a speculative thing that could be successful or it might not be, and really there isn't any kind of underlying physical asset apart from the belief in the people that own those assets. And then another big thing we've spoken about before is the regulatory aspect as well.
Yes.
So when it comes to cryptocurrencies, we've seen how regulators out there are starting to look at these cryptos as securities that might be illegal. And so the regulatory uncertainty is also a very big risk.
Yeah.
Because you might look at the technology and you might think this is great, let's get into it. But then the regulations will suddenly say, well, no, that asset is illegal, and that means the value plunges to zero.
Yeah.
The price plunges to zero.
Because there could be a lot of factors to that. I mean, we need to consider the Consumer Protection Act. And if I have an idea of some sort, then I can organize an online cult to believe in my new coin. All of a sudden I'm making a killing. But we all know that that is pretty much unregulated and illegal.
Another big thing that we've seen over the last 10 years of cryptocurrency is people getting hacked and losing money, and coins being stolen out of wallets, or the blockchains going down and not being reliable. So security is a massive issue as well.
It's what's the saying? Your keys, your coins?
Well, I mean, that's all well and good, but if there is a bug in some software...
And some dude has your credentials?
Has your credentials, or when it comes to these smart contracts, there are funds in those contracts, and then a bug or an exploit is discovered, and then those wallets get drained. So this is also a big issue to think about, the security of everything. And then finally, of course, another massive risk we've seen when it came to exchanges like FTX or Binance right now, and Mt. Gox early on in the days. If those exchanges get hacked, it creates instability in the market. People lose faith, and they want to pull their money out as fast as possible because they now have seen illegal activity or something happening to the big players in the industry. So there's an enormous amount of risk when it comes to investing in these cryptocurrencies. But I think I want to finish on this idea of the fundamental value. Now, when it comes to these cryptocurrencies, of course, there's a lot of promise that these innovations are going to transform the world. And so people are being buoyed along by that hype. But really, you have to be very critical when evaluating a cryptocurrency to see what is the potential for this thing to succeed. And when we look at a lot of these cryptocurrencies, we see how most of them can't really scale to serve large numbers of people. Maybe the fees are really high. There's technical hurdles that cannot be overcome. So it's not just that there's cryptocurrency and they're all the same. A lot of them have a lot of hype, really, but nothing fundamental underpinning the value of those cryptocurrencies. So when we look at cryptocurrency, and if we're going to, for the sake of this discussion, categorize Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency, when we look at how Bitcoin was designed, a lot of the technical aspects and the economic aspects of Bitcoin make us believe that if any crypto is going to succeed,
Yeah.
then the qualities that Bitcoin have are going to make it more successful than others. And what are those? Well, the first thing is Bitcoin as it was originally designed, and which is now Bitcoin SV.
Yeah.
The most important thing about it is that it's scalable, and it can grow to serve large numbers of users around the world, creating many, many transactions. When we look at the original design of Bitcoin, being something that can be scalable and that can serve millions and millions of transactions per second eventually. And we see how the Bitcoin Association, along with the developers, are building out what's called the Terra node software implementation of the Bitcoin protocol. That is specifically built to be able to cater to millions of transactions with giant blocks, terabyte-sized blocks, to be able to process millions of transactions per second. Now, there's very few, in fact, there aren't any other blockchains that are making strides in that regard, being able to process so many transactions. And if we want blockchain to be a global system that people use, that has utility, that is useful, then we need it to be able to reach many millions of people around the world for their day-to-day transactions. Also, the way Bitcoin was designed is that it was transparent. It's not a cryptocurrency, it's not encrypted. And so that makes it regulatory compliant, because now you can trace transactions and you can ultimately identify the owners of coins and the people who are behind those transactions.
So any illicit activity can be tracked.
Exactly. So that's why Bitcoin was a transparent ledger, because a very important thing that makes payments compliant with regulations is the transparent nature. You need to be able to trace money throughout the system. So that's another very important thing. Also, it is stable. What we saw with BTC, when BTC changed the design of Bitcoin and forked off the original protocol, is that the community around BTC said stability doesn't matter. They're willing to change the design of the protocol, and that means when you want a stable protocol to be able to build businesses on that can last for years, then you can't go and change the protocol. You can't go and change the design of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was a stable protocol. And that's why Bitcoin SV is aligned with that original idea of keeping Bitcoin the way the inventor designed it, so it can create stability going forward. So when it comes to these cryptocurrencies, really, there is no alternative from the original Bitcoin. It considered all these aspects that will secure it for the future. It created transparency. It complies with all the rules and regulations.
And it created an entire industry, because there's a lot of companies already that have built, a fully operational business on the blockchain.
That's right, because those companies have looked at Bitcoin SV and said, well, we see it as a stable protocol, so we're willing to invest money into developing applications on top of that stable protocol. So these are the things that really you have to look at. If you are wanting to just take a risky investment, you're not looking at it as a long-term thing, and you're willing to gamble and go into the market and just get in and get out. Well, of course, we got all these exchanges and people are investing in them. We wouldn't call it investing. They are speculating on these cryptocurrencies.
Speculation,
But if you want to think about investing in a cryptocurrency, then consider all those aspects that we've raised. Consider the fundamental use case, the fundamental value that blockchain provides.
Not price, but value.
Yes, because price and value are very different. We see BTC have a very high price, but what value does it give to people? What value does it create? You can't use it for anything. That's why they've just changed the way of thinking about it from a currency to a gold that you store in a vault and hope that the value appreciates over time. So we think that when it comes to an investment, first of all, we would say invest in building businesses on top of BSV blockchain. But if people start using BSV, the way we use it in terms of digital cash for our wallet, or as you said, companies out there, enterprises now looking at the BSV blockchain to build supply chain systems or other enterprise type systems, then there you have a blockchain that has fundamental utility and fundamental value for the long term.
Yeah.
And so in terms of just the fundamental value that BSV offers, it's clear. You know, you don't have to make a complex, convoluted argument in looking at BSV as a stable innovation that could potentially transform things. But really, when it comes to all these other cryptocurrencies out there, even things like Ethereum, even though Ethereum is touted as an innovation that could potentially be a platform that can create new businesses and new financial products, really you have to look at the way the system is developed and say, can this scale? Can this be something that businesses look at as a stable protocol for the future? And that's why it's quite clear to us, you know, where things are going.
It's crystal. Yeah.
Like I always say, Mr. G, I personally only recognize BSV as the only Bitcoin out there, because the rest is just knockoffs and bootlegs. Because Satoshi said it, you know, it needs to be transparent, scalable, and like you're saying, BSV covers all the fundamentals. So thanks for that, Mr. G. That was quite clear. I mean, guys, you heard it for yourselves. And if you haven't actually downloaded the Centbee app to experience the power of BSV, I suggest you do it now, as in now. Check it out on the stores, show some love, give us some feedback. You know the drill by now. We're going to be jumping into this week's questions and feedback from you guys on socials. So yeah, I mean, we're always getting some love and some questions from the guys. So our first question on X, actually, comes from BSV Search. And hi, I just tested it. I sent BSV from Centbee to another wallet with a comment, but the comment does not show up on the What's on Chain Explorer. So I don't think Centbee does it.
Yes, now when you send money with Centbee, if you're not using ChatPay, there is a way to, if you scan a Bitcoin address or you're using a PayMail, then when you create that transaction, you can add a note. And when you create that note, when the recipient receives that transaction, they will see the note in their transaction list. So this is a great way if you want to describe what it is that you're sending the money for. If it's a gift for somebody or for a particular product or a cup of coffee or something, then you can go and put that little note into the transaction. But this note isn't something that we add to the transaction which is put onto the blockchain. We want to keep those notes private. And so what happens is it's a private note, only visible to the user, the recipient. You won't see it on a block explorer like What's on Chain. For obvious reasons.
It makes sense because at this point, the blockchain is for transactions.
And it's public.
True.
I mean, you can encrypt messages on the blockchain.
But rather not include it.
Yes, I mean, we think that it's not relevant to the blockchain, and why put more information on there than you need?
Yeah.
It's a private message meant for the recipient only.
Makes sense.
So only the recipient on Centbee will see that message.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Thanks for that, BSV Search. I mean, you know, it's quite clear that, you know, the blockchain is solely focusing on transactions, and we wouldn't want to clutter that with private information, basically, that's directed to the receiver. It wouldn't make sense to put a message to the transaction. Thanks for that, Ms. G. That was clear. Yeah, thanks, BSV Search, for your question. So, yeah, we're stepping into this week's highlight, and it was also posted on X. So Crypto Rebel SV is saying Centbee is a non-custodial wallet, is by far the best Bitcoin SV app. I was able to help a friend by sending them Bitcoin, and they used it to buy a Walmart gift card instantly and then fill their medical prescription. Wow. Thanks, Centbee. And thanks for nothing, Blockstream and BTC.
Yes, well, I mean, there you go. BTC isn't meant for cash. It's certainly not meant for buying anything at any stores. So that was nice. There's a user buying stuff at Walmart.
Yeah.
So it just shows you the extent that Centbee has in
Yeah.
terms of the shopping options that we have available. What's nice as well is that payment was instant. And
Yeah.
so the recipient could receive that money and then go and spend it at Walmart immediately.
Yeah.
So we love to hear stories like that. Thanks, Crypto Rebel, for writing that comment out there. We appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. So our second highlight comes from Sophia Dulali. She says, join the revolution of social payments, making money transfers as simple as sending a message.
Yep, that's probably chat pay, and that's something that we like. We like this idea of social payments.
Yeah.
We think money is, especially on Centbee, is like it's like a social network. Centbee is a social network. It connects your friends, and money is the media. So we're glad that the social payments hashtag that we are pushing out there is reaching the world.
Yeah. Thanks for the love, Sophia. Yo, guys, remember to check out the Centbee app on the stores. And if you haven't, you got a problem. You got a problem, yo. Download the Centbee app, explore the shop. Just, check out how many options you have in terms of shopping there, Yeah. And also, don't forget to subscribe, show some love, comment. You know the drill by now. So, yeah, our third highlight comes from Robert Tavera. And he says it's simple, easy, and global. Ideal for those avoiding runaround. Easy payment. Hashtag easy payments. That's fresh.
Yeah, easy payments all the way.
Guys, come on now. I'll keep repeating this. Always check out the Centbee app on the stores. Just also, if you don't have auto update on your phone setup for your apps, just make sure that you have the latest version. Check it out on the stores. And yeah, man, we always welcome for your love and feedback. So, just drop us some comments here, and also remember to subscribe. You know the drill by now. Mr. G, another dope episode that dropped this year, and there's plenty more coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Kage. Thanks for the show. Thanks for the questions and the topic of discussion. Of course, when it comes to these cryptocurrencies out there, we never want to give people the idea that BSV and Centbee is about investments. It's all about digital cash. That's what the original idea of Bitcoin was. It was a peer-to-peer digital cash, something that you can easily use to send payments to your friends, to your family, to be able to purchase the things that you need. So even though we've spent this whole episode discussing investments, and of course we believe in the long-term future of Bitcoin SV, we don't want you to think of it as an investment. We want you to think of it as digital cash that's low cost, convenient. Centbee is a mobile money wallet that fixes all the problems that other traditional mobile money applications have. It's inherently global. It's low cost. It has an extensive catalog of things that you can buy. So absolutely try it out. This is something that I think you're going to really enjoy using if you're used to mobile money. And if you're not, it's also very easy to access. Just download it. It's available everywhere. And then see how convenient it is to use around the world. But thanks, Kage. Thanks for that show. It was a pleasure being here and a pleasure to talk about Centbee. So thank you, everybody, for joining us on the Centbee Show. Please come back soon.